Morning. Actually getting close to afternoon. It is April the 9th. And Johnny went and spent money. So part of the deal was this box. But mainly it's what is on the desk here. Except for that tub in the back. But everything else on the desk came here today. Or came here in said box. Now, started the morning, and you couldn't really even... Oh yeah, the leather chaps too came. Starting this morning, you couldn't really even see this desk. It had a bunch of stuff on it, same with that corner. Couldn't see the floor. So we've been kind of making some progress, right? Looks like it, right? Why does this seem so small? Okay, so let's scan. We're half done. This is all leather stuff up here in the corner. I got donated a little fridge, file cabinet. Got to figure out what to do with my stove. And then we get to this. And the after effects. We got the kids hanging out, checking it out. But I had a bunch of carpentry stuff stored in here. This was always supposed to be my office slash leather shop in this room ever since we moved here. Even when I didn't have any leather working stuff other than maybe 3-4 tools. I mean, I think I brought a little from Louisiana, but I didn't have much. I had a poor life situation where all my stuff went bye-bye. So all that carpentry stuff, pretty much everything piled up there was all loose. Dust and debris and debust. And like I said, we're only halfway there. And I never really finished my coffee. And so anyway, let's get back to the primary point. Aside from Johnny's trying to get his shit together and maybe do some leather work, because I need a belt. Favorite things. Old Tonkas, always cool. So anyway, we're going to recycle the box for other tools. But let's get into this. Let's see what we got. Right off the hop, we got Sapphire being a pain. Hi, Sapphire. Okay, go on. Let me work. So right off the hop, I believe the count is right around 115 tools. And I guess that's probably the best way to show you. Those are veiners. These guys are cedars of different sorts. Cedars and centers. These fellas are called mule's foots. These are all pear shaders. All of them. Different facings on them. Whether it's coarse or not. I forget what this tool is called, and if anybody ever comes off and stumbles on its counterparts, they make 2 more companion tools. It might have originally made 3, and I'm talking about this guy right here. That tool is a, if I can get it in or not, how about I just tell y'all? It's a crafts tool, and it's a F926, the D. Anyway, they make a half that runs kind of like that half. And then they make a half that works that's just that half. And I can't remember. It seems like there might be one more. Anyway, that's a primary tool and one of my favorite old patterns. I was trying to recreate the pattern when I still only had a little bit of tools. And most people look at it and say, oh, that's a lot of tools. But, so I've actually got... this stuff, I can't even remember where or how I bought it. I was in Yuma one day, and I'm going to set you down for a minute somehow. I was in Yuma one day, and picked up this jar for, I want to say, $60. There is a buttload more odd, different, cool tools, undercuts, mule's foots. That's a different story for a different time. We'll get back to that. That's kind of important. Let alone the fact that I've got to figure out all my stuff. So this was the original pattern. I don't know how well it's going to come in. I love this pattern. I found something similar to it in a Tandy book or something, and went ahead and kind of copied it. So I was missing a few things. It looks like I still don't have a proper center. I do got stops. There were some stops in there. Let's get back to tools real quick. So we got stops and starbursts, and I can't even remember what they call those. That guy's a little cloverleaf dealy. We showed you those are all cam tools, and actually, no, those are all cams. Then we get into backgrounding tools. And bevels. So, like I said, just in tooling tools, there was 115. For the money I got into it, if I was just counting those, I'm into them for about $6 a tool. Now, let's move on. We got a letter set, which I've got a bunch of them, that's missing a D unless it's floating around. Oops. Sorry, guys, I'll start filming better. A letter set that's missing a D, but has a horse, of course. Let's switch back to the other end. We got X-Acto stuff. So, we had all those swivel knives. These three are pretty much Tandy normal. This is a slightly different Tandy. And this guy here, I really can't find nothing, but I don't believe this to be a Tandy swivel wrench. I hope some of you guys, maybe somewhere along the line, will chime in. World's smallest swivel knife. That was in there. I believe this is a super old edging deal. The knife should slide in there, hold the blade, for doing leather. Right here's the modern plastic equivalent. The blade sets in like that, and then you can use it for cutting a bevel on the edge of the belt. Sorry about that, I keep screwing up. Anyway, see the resemblance? Enough about that. Interesting tool. So, everything back here was bought brand new out of the Tandy store in Phoenix. So that stuff don't count, but there's a couple things I'd like to show you and talk about here. And actually, since we're at swivel knives, this little guy is a ceramic blade for the swivel knives. I forget what I paid for it, but if you're doing any amount of tooling, it's well worth it. So we're at 7 minutes. Like I said, the cool leather chaps came with it. The big wood hammer, everything on the desk. I like the wood hammer. The old rawhides, not so much. We have a strap cutter here that somebody bought at probably a garage sale for $1. Kind of interesting though. We have some awls. Those are the awls. I'm not sure what the roller is for, unless it's for when you're using a craft aid, which we'll talk about later, that has a raised deal on it. I guess you could use the roller to help get you a good I need to set up a better camera. The roller to get a better transfer when you put it on. Like I said, one of these days I'll show you that. Hopefully I'm going to start doing leather. Anyway, back to what we got. We've got actually I think this is a Woodworkers, Stanley Company width gauge, but we can use that for leather. We have a whole bunch of punches and rivet tools, handy rivet. Came with what I think is a drill bit sharpener, old set of dividers, cool stuff. Because this stuff was in a machinist box, I think that's for knocking down edges. This Klein tool, not a clue. Would love to know what that is. It's brass on the end, no clue. We've got some other style edgers for knocking down the edges. This one's kind of neat. I've never seen one quite like him with that profile. That's for cutting a stitching groove, I would assume. More edging stuff. Overstitch wheels, gouge. Interestingly enough, laying in the shade. Safety scribe. And it's messed up. I don't know how good they'll come through, but I swear by the look of some of the knives in the box, I got a pretty good idea where the original owner learned his craft. And with that, I'll leave that be. Sometimes you just don't feel at home without certain things. We have a strap-in cutter. We have an old school wood slicking wheel, slot punch, stitching / lacing punches, hole punches, a CS Osborne hole punch. I'm not sure what these barrels go in. These go in the tubes, the smaller ones you can use back in the Osborne. Hardware X-Acto knives. I think that's about it. And it sucks because when I was down at Tandy hunting for tools, I actually bought a couple that I ended up with today, but that's alright. I'm not even sure what do I got. I got the stop. So oddly enough, I'm probably at some point maybe going to have a few extra like duplicate tools. I'm going to hook up Dory with anything that's like Taiwanese or that I've got 2 or 3 of, because she can probably use those for making imprints in clay. I don't know if I did anything when I cannot remember where I ended up with this rack tools from, but this is cool because, like I said, in a way, I see some duplicates, but it's going to be nice when I get done. There ain't going to be much for Taiwanese in my rack. Another edger. So yeah, at this point, we're going to start sorting, and I may proposition my one neighbor, see if he can build me a rack for my tools, because as of right now, I might almost have more tooling tools. When I say tooling tools, that's them guys and all these fellas than what I ever had before. And plus I've got a whole bunch more odd stuff tucked back in underneath all that, which at this point I'm going to walk you guys inside and show you a piece of leather work that I did a long time ago. It's funny because this belt right here, I finally broke it, and man, this was a good service belt. I mean, I used the daylights out of it. Look at the corrosion from sweat on the buckle. That's all from me. And finally, it just so many heat cycles of getting wet and getting dry, it dry rotted and broke. But that was a very early belt that I made for myself when I first started, when I come up on this pattern. Now I'm real close to having everything I need to do it. I've got to get a better slab. Woo Woo standing in the way of the slab. A friend of mine gave me that one. It ain't thick enough. I need at least 2 4-inch slab. And then I will probably build it on some kind of rolly table where I can sit here in the middle of the shop and work on stuff. So let me pause you, and we're going to walk inside. Yeah, I like Tonkas, different stuff. Used to be fond of Disney. Still am kind of, but it makes me sad because they're getting into the business of trying to make or grow up our kids before they're ready. So, love my Tonkas. Yeah, I'll ever come across any, let me know. I buy them once in a while. So let me put you on pause and go for a while. Walk with me, folks. Excuse the mess. It gets better, it gets worse. It gets better, it gets worse. I keep jumping around from project to project because it drives me nuts. Cleaning up some wire and stuff. My kids are going nuts. But like I said, once upon a time I've done some pretty interesting leather work. Dory's films and stuff. So So this is like one of my favorite pieces. I did that long while ago, and there's a lot of tools that I didn't have then that I might actually have now, and some that I don't. But that hit really kind of makes me almost want to start doing some leather work again. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. I know this isn't what I normally do, but I do a little bit of everything. And like I said, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you on up the road. Thanks.